Hey everyone, my name is Mel for those of you who are new. In this video, I'm going to share a few quick tips on how we saw Danny recover. She was diagnosed with severe autism, not virtual autism. She was actually diagnosed with severe autism at 18 months old. She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. And over about an 18-month period, we saw her completely be restored and recovered. And some of the things that I'm sharing here are things that we did, and it was hugely beneficial for her. Here's a quick video of her before and after.
What you doing, baby? Trying to open the drawer? That one's locked.
She's spinning again. Danny, come here. Danny, Danny. Nice hands, Danny. Danny, nice hands, Danny. Hey, Danny, Danny. You watching your sister swing? Nice hands. Nice hands. Nice hands. Nice hands. Nice hands. Danny. Nice hands, baby. Nice hands. Nice hands. Nice.
Danny, do you want the pink one? No. Oh, I want the big one. You can have the red one and I can have the pink one. Mommy, I get the red one for Minnie and I get the pink one for me.
That's so kind. Thank you for sharing so nicely.
I will just say right off the hop, this video is not intended as medical advice. You need to speak to your own doctor, your own therapist before making changes to their care. The information in this video is just based on my family's personal experiences and opinions and what worked for us. Okay, so let's get into it. Virtual autism is a term that was coined by a Romanian psychologist in 2018. It's not even medically recognized right now, but really it's a term that was coined that talks about children that have autistic-like symptoms, language delays, repetitive movements, sensory issues that mimic classic autism, but actually are not classic autism. And it's related to very heavy screen exposure when the child is young, whether that's phones, whether it's television, it doesn't matter. It's screen exposure. Usually, from what I've seen online, it's 2 hours and more. And that was definitely the case in my daughter. We had the television on all the time. I just had no idea that it was affecting her the way that it was. If you are wondering, how did we know that this was virtual autism and not actually classic autism in our daughter? Because Danny wasn't diagnosed with virtual autism. She was diagnosed with severe autism. If you're wondering how we knew the difference, go and watch this video. How we knew my daughter had virtual autism, not classic autism, 4 clues. Full recovery is possible. So the first thing that I would say to you is you need to increase the amount of interaction that you actually have with your child. Spend and do it over 3 levels. You need to spend more time with them. Focus on the quality of your interaction. It's no good if you're just sitting on your phone, scrolling your phone while they're sitting there doing nothing. You actually need to focus on the quality. So spend more time with them, focus on the quality of the time that you spend with them, and then increase the frequency of your interactions. Doing once a day is not enough. You need good quality interaction for a few minutes, multiple times throughout the day. If you haven't watched how I actually did this with Danny, I incorporated multiple therapies into Danny's recovery day every single day. And it wasn't something that I set an hour aside every day. It was just built into our everyday life. And that's ultimately my goal here. I want to help you to create almost like a therapy environment in your home where you're giving the child the interaction that they need constantly without needing to chisel away half an hour or an hour to do specific therapy. Because there are ways that you can do this as in your everyday life. The third thing is to increase the frequency of your interactions. It really isn't going to be beneficial just, doing this as a once-off thing. You need to be doing this frequently with your child. I speak about this in other videos, but really my goal here is to teach parents, show parents how to kind of make everyday life a therapy session. So you're not trying to chisel out an hour to do speech language therapy here and do this there. No, you've got your kid all day. And there are ways that you can incorporate the therapy that they need into everyday life as just part of everyday life. It doesn't have to be the super big, complicated thing, which therapists don't want you to know because, they wanted to charge us $7,000 a month for what Danny needed. And who's got that kind of money? I'm sure people have that kind of money. Some people. We were not one of those people. So I had to come up with ways to do this at home on my own because we didn't, we had to wait. There's a whole process of, qualifying to get that kind of therapy given to you for free. And there was a long waiting list because lots of kids are being diagnosed with this thing now. Anyway, the point is, there's a way to do this, and you can do it at home, and it's very easy. It's simple. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And we saw great strides. So as I said, 3 things: spend more time with them, focus on the quality while you're with them, and focus on the frequency. The second thing is increasing interaction requires reducing screen time. You can't, your child can't do both at the same time. If they're interacting with you, they can't be watching the screens. When screen time goes down, interaction between parent-child automatically goes up, and that's what you're aiming for. For us, we personally removed all screens for about 2 years for Danny. We knew that the neuroplasticity window was closing. You can research that yourself, but we knew that the window where true help can happen was closing, and we just decided we're going to hit this thing as hard as we could and get it dealt with. And was it hard? Absolutely. This was the hardest thing I think I have ever had to do, but was it worth it? I have my child back. She's walking, she's talking, she's a typical 4-year-old now. Praise God. And the screen time, removing the screen time was, I'm telling you, 95% of everything. Interaction and all of these things are critical. In fact, I would say probably 80% screen time and 20% everything else. You will not be able to do the interaction and do everything else if you don't take the screen time out. But I have to say this, if you take the screens out and you never interact with your kid, you're going to end up probably with a child that stims more because they're not being interacted with. No, you need to do both. You have to do both. I would say even 50%. Remove the screens and make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're interacting. And I'll say it again, I'm not giving you advice. Don't take this as medical advice. I'm just telling you what I saw happen with my child. I'm sharing my experience in case it helps you. Use the screen time that used to happen. Instead of screens, use it to interact. If you need ideas on how to do that as part of everyday life, without creating some kind of special therapy session, watch this video. Visual Autism Speech Recovery, how I restored my child's speech from home. The third thing I would recommend is don't try and pull your child into your world to interact. You go into their world. Join them in whatever they're doing. Whatever they're doing, they're enjoying. And they are going to learn far more if they are actually enjoying something and doing something play-based that they are interested in. I think, lots of people try and, make kids do stuff that they want, but they don't have a lot of success. And I'm saying this because I've spoken to a lot of parents now. They don't have a lot of success because they're trying to pull the kid into their world. And the kid is already in their own world, they're having fun playing. Go and join them and use whatever they're doing as the learning experience. Play-based learning is the best kind of learning. And then while you're busy playing with them, you just talk naturally about whatever is visible to the child, whatever the child is doing, you talk about that. For instance, oh, Danny's playing with blocks. Can I play too, Danny? Can I play too? Sit down. Start stacking blocks. Wow, Danny, so many blocks. Put it on, put it on, put it on. Oh no, the blocks fell down. Oh, that's okay. We can build them again. I hope that kind of helps you in understanding what I'm talking about. And sound fun. Don't sound like you're hating doing what you're doing. If you bubble up and get some enthusiasm, it's going to make a big difference for your child. If you're having fun, they're going to be having fun with you. It'll help the interaction process. The fourth thing is more about something that you shouldn't do rather than something you should do. And that is, don't try and get your kid to just randomly repeat certain words. Repeating random words doesn't help your child learn how to communicate. What helps your child communicate is seeing the object and talking naturally about what that object is doing. Your toddler needs to associate the meaning of a particular object or person to the activity. So just learn to talk in very simple means about what's actually going on. If it's the block situation, don't try and create this elaborate sentence. Just keep it simple. Put it on, put it on, put it on. Oh no, the blocks fell down. Or if you're playing with cards in a track, say, look, Danny, put it up. Down. Car goes down. Simple, simple, simple. The fifth thing that I would recommend is try to connect more with your child. Try and create a strong bond. The best way to do that is to play and play and play some more. I know it's hard work, but you've got a short window. You've got a very short window to try and recover things here. Play, and play some more. Make sure that the play is interactive, Let it be fun and happy, not just, to the child, but to you too. If you're enjoying it, chances are the kid is going to enjoy it too. If you're both enjoying it together, you're going to have fun together. And as I've said many times already, play-based learning is the best learning you have. If you're hating the activity, the chances are your kid's going to hate it too. So just have fun. The sixth thing is do different kinds of play. As an example, I'll share some of the things that I do with my kids. The first thing is I pretend to be a zombie. I don't know where they learned this. I think my 5-year-old came back from kindergarten doing this with the other kids, and it became a hit because we don't do anything to do with zombies. We don't watch anything like that. But it's now in the house. The kids know about zombies. So what I'll do is I'll be randomly doing something in the kitchen, for instance, and then I'll call them. I'll say, hey, Danny. And then everyone looks at me. And then I'll take up the stance. And I'll just stare at them. And then as soon as I do that, they know. And they take off running, squealing, because they know I'm going to start chasing them. And then I'll be like, and I'll start chasing them. And then I grab them and I tickle them, and they love it. And it's interactive, right? So, and they're talking to me, and it's just totally interactive, and they absolutely love it. So that's one thing. And then, of course, the biggest thing is that it's promoting movement. It's promoting gross motor development, things like that. So it's really, really good. The second thing that we often do is a lot of sensory play, and specifically in the way of Play-Doh. So my kids absolutely love Play-Doh. We have a big box of different colored Play-Dohs. Most of the time it gets mixed, but who cares, right? It's just kids. And they will play often. They will play with Play-Doh for up to an hour. And whenever that happens, I will stop what I'm doing in that time and spend 15 minutes with them, and I'll play with them, and I'll get instruction from them. I'll say, okay, Danny, what do you want me to make? And then she'll tell me, I want you to make a bowl of fruit with apples and bananas and a pineapple. And then I'll make that for her. And then I'll do the same for Amelia and for Emery, And in that way, we're having a language lesson. We're doing texture. We're doing shapes. We're doing colors. We're doing a bunch of different therapy all in one go. And most importantly, it's forming a bond where they feel like they're important and I'm making time for them. And that is crucial. They want to sit and do stuff with us as their parents. If you're looking for sensory play ideas, I've just created a video with 16 sensory playthings that we did as a family when we were helping Danny recover. I'm not sure if it'll be up by the time I release this. If it's not, just come back and look for it. But yeah, I've given 16 examples of different sensory play that we did with Danny to help her. And then the other thing that we often do is picture books. With my kids, I often will sit at the head of our dining room table, and I'll have a big book, and the kids will sit around the table, and I'll just hold the book like this, and I'll be talking about whatever I'm seeing here. In the beginning, we couldn't do a whole reading the book because she wasn't there yet, with the challenges that she had. But it's different now. So anyway, the reason I said that is in the beginning, I wouldn't even read the book. I would just look at the picture and say, oh, look, Danny, dog chasing ball. Simple. Now I'll go through everything in the book and I'll ask them questions. There's a lot of interaction. They're telling me what color is the ball, what color is the clothing, what's happening in the picture, comprehension, all of these things that's happening with these picture books. It's really, really, really good for them. The seventh thing is, if your child does have a language delay, I would really, in the beginning, focus more on functional words as a priority. Learning numbers, alphabets, writing skills, all of that stuff is important. But functional words come first. They need to know how to come to mommy, how to ask for water. They need to know how to say yes, no. They need to have functional words. So I would really focus on those types of things before you deal too much with everything else. Get the foundational blocks in first. Number 8 is on the same vein, limit teaching on literacy right now in the beginning. Writing skills and all of those things, they come later. Increase the focus on play, on creating a bond, on building interaction and maintaining the bond. Those are the things that are going to really, really help restore things in virtual autism. And don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying, you never touch anything on literacy, but language skills develop more or most quickly and effectively through a play-based environment and function. And that's really what we're wanting to create here. The 9th thing I would talk about really is letting the kids play outside in nature. They need to explore. They need to touch, feel, walk barefoot through the garden. They need to be playing in the park, feeling the wind on their face, touching everything as they go by. The more kids have access to nature and the outdoors, the better the sensory development will become. There was a marked improvement with Danny when I began taking her outdoors for a few hours every single day. Really a marked, very obvious improvement. Okay, well, lastly, just to end this video, if you are needing support and encouragement, I really want to just encourage you, go and watch the video I did on the introduction to Danny and her story and just her recovery journey. I really believe it will give you hope for you to keep, pressing in and, believing for your own child's recovery. As I've said 100 times, we're not promising anything and making medical claims or giving advice or anything. I'm just sharing what we did as our family. And, I'm trusting and hoping that you'll see similar, if not the same results. And that's what we believe in God for your family. But as I said, it's not medical advice, and don't let anything I say replace what your own doctor and therapist say. Amen. God bless you. We'll see you next week.